appreciate everybody coming in, spending some time with us. We're looking at those numbers climb. Awesome. Thank you so much for coming in. Give it another minute or so. I think y'all just finished up or wrapped up another session. So. I believe we have up until 5:15 in terms of our time together. Folks are still coming in. We appreciate you coming in. And I think you're coming in and then muting yourselves. So thank you. If you have questions, please put those in the chat at any time. My name is Jennifer Clark. This is Miss Megan Caton, and we are two among many representatives from the Health and Human Sciences Advising and Personal Development Office, as well as the Health and Human Sciences Dean's Office. So we appreciate you giving your time here this evening to learn a little bit more about advising in HHS, Health and Human Sciences. Looks like we are good on numbers. Okay. Well, as others come in, welcome. If you need to leave, we appreciate your time. Again, I think we have the next 30 minutes just to kind of learn a little bit more about you, as well as share some insight with you about advising in HHS. So welcome. What I'd like to first do is just to kind of share a couple of slides with you to reiterate the departments that we have in our School of Health and Human Sciences. So I won't read these off. I'll let you do that. I'm assuming that you are coming in with an interest in one of these majors, or maybe you're exploring one of these majors, or maybe you've already declared one of these majors. So know that as a representative of HHS, we're the second largest unit at UNCG. And all that means is we have a lot of departments that we serve, that we engage with, and that we learn from as we think about working together with each other. Okay. So here's the next 4 departments. You can read those. Hopefully you've seen a major of interest as we looked at these 2 slides. Okay, and then so the Health and Human Sciences Advising Center advises many freshmen across each of these departments, with the exception of nutrition. Nutrition freshmen work with nutrition advisors. Soon, if not already, if you've logged into your UNCG DegreeWorks degree evaluation, you've seen either your advisor assignment reading as the Health and Human Sciences Advising Center, or in some cases, you might be assigned to a particular faculty advisor. For example, all physical education, health teacher education majors in the kinesiology department work with a faculty advisor. All nutrition majors work with a faculty advisor, but all other freshmen across our school at HHS and each of its departments are assigned to the Health and Human Sciences Advising Center, or folks within. So we appreciate you joining us. And while we also provide advising for many pre-health studies and sciences majors, most of those students are working towards with the major interest in nursing. So if you're here at this session and you have an interest in nursing, we would encourage that you maybe just disconnect and connect with the nursing academic info session this evening, but know that we're here to support you as well. Okay, so I want to jump down real quickly to one quick slide, and then we'll take a look at a couple of other things. Let me find it, hang on. So in the School of Health and Human Sciences, we have what we call a life design curriculum. And so we have a couple of classes, HHS 125, which is a 1 credit hour course that's offered every fall and spring. And then we have 150, which is a 3 credit hour course offered every fall and spring. And whichever course you take, just know that these courses will challenge you to think more about yourself, the decisions that you're making, and really help you to more closely articulate your goals, your interests, to identify your talents and your strengths as we situate that to college life and the majors that you have an interest in, or the careers that you'd like to further prepare yourself for. Okay. Some of the differences here is that 125 is a 1 credit hour course. 150 is a 3-credit-hour course. 125 counts as an elective, whereas 150 counts as a MAC Foundations course. So definitely explore these options. Some of you may already be enrolled in some of these courses, so we appreciate your time and exploration there. Okay, I'm going to want to hop over to this next slide and basically just encourage that you check out our Advising and Personal Development Center website. And I'm going to pull that up, but just know that on our HHS school website, there's lots of information that can assist you in planning for advising and registration for your respective major of interest. So I'm going to stop sharing the screen. I'm going to go to our school website and just call your attention to our school website, which is hhs.uncg.edu. And the great thing about technology is we don't have to know everything. We don't have to memorize everything. It's all here at our fingertips. Okay, so there's lots of tabs down here that you can get to know and become familiar with over the course of your time at UNCG. One of which is the departments tab. So let's say that you wanted to read a little bit more information about the majors and the communication sciences and disorders department. And that link will take you directly to that department, and you can explore as little or as much as you'd like. We've got lots of departments in our School of Health and Human Sciences. For the purpose of tonight's program, we can't go into detail about all those departments, but you're taking lots of courses for lots of our programs, and so don't hesitate to learn more about that on your own, and know that we'll be sending out advising and registration emails during the fall break period to give you a little bit more details about how advising and registration takes place at UNCG. Okay, so under this resources tab, if we click on advising and personal development, this is going to take us to our Advising and Personal Development Center website. And there's lots of tabs on the left-hand side. So if you are interested in exploring more information about advising, you can click on the Advising tab, and you can just check out the many different resources under the numbered items that you see here. How to look at courses online, how to use DegreeWorks. DegreeWorks is a really important tool you probably just heard about in your first 40 minutes this late afternoon, early evening session anyway. So definitely get to know your degree evaluation, which you have access to within your UNC Genie account, okay? Many students, many of you might be taking an average of 14 to 16 credits right now for the fall. And so just for information awareness, if you want to be full-time, you have to have 12 credits at minimum. 12 credits of coursework that you've never taken before defines one as a full-time student. If you're in good academic standing, which means you have a 2.0 cumulative GPA, or you're brand new to the university, you don't yet have a GPA, that will begin when end of fall grades post as we look ahead to continue in good academic standing. It's important that you complete 67% of the credit hours that you carried and had since the 5th day of classes for the fall term. So every semester we have a deadline where students can formally withdraw from courses or reduce their schedule without incurring a WF grade. And so some of the students that are interacting with our advising center with Ms. Kate and myself are beginning to inquire, well, hey, can I drop a course? I'm not sure if this course is right for me, or maybe I'm struggling or didn't do too well on the first test. What would happen if I dropped the course? So just know that students are making those decisions as we speak, and the deadline to do that for the fall semester is this coming Friday, October 8th. Students have up until 11:59 p.m. to formally withdraw from a course. And technically, students can withdraw for no more than 16 credit hours worth of courses throughout their undergraduate career. So again, if at any time you have questions, even right now, I encourage that you put those in the chat. Ms. Kate and I can field those questions, and we just appreciate your time and listening in. So check out our Advising and Personal Development Center website. If you're really ambitious and you want to take more than 18 credit hours, you can request a course overload or a credit hour overload. But again, just know that full-time defines one as having 12 credits. Many students take on average about 14 to 16 credits during each of the fall and spring terms. How many credits do you need to be considered a sophomore? Technically, you need 30 credits completed. And so as we think about that, and think about how many credits you're taking right now, some of you may have already brought in transfer credits or advanced placement credits or credits for other purposes. So know that as we look ahead to the end of this fall term when grades post, hopefully you will have passed all your courses and you'll be well on your way to position yourself, for example, to becoming a sophomore as we look ahead to the start of the next academic year. An academic year starts with a fall term and goes for the end of the summer. So technically we're going to be in this 2021-2022 academic year now that the fall has begun, fall term all the way through the end of the summer. And so since I mentioned summer, I want to draw your attention to the opportunity to register for summer courses. I haven't even mentioned spring yet, but we'll be registering for spring courses as a student body, as freshmen, as early as November 9th for those of you that brought in transfer credits or AP credits. And for those of you, for many of you, probably most of you, who are here at UNCG and you didn't bring any credits with you, your registration windows will open up on November 10th. A registration window at UNCG defines essentially the date that you can begin creating your schedule. And for many of you, you were probably pre-registered in some courses for your current fall term over the summer. And then you got an email about, hey, here's the schedule that you were pre-registered for. Here's your advising code. Now take a look at your schedule and make changes if or as you feel led, right? So when your registration window opens, whether it's November 9th or November 10th, that's the earliest that you'll begin being able to register yourself for courses. So you won't be pre-registered anything at this point. And when your window opens, it will remain open all the way through the 5th day of classes for the spring semester. Okay, so I want to have the, I'm gonna pull up the registrar office's website real quickly. And I love the registrar office's website for lots of different reasons, but in their calendars tab, we can take a look at the registration calendar. More specifically, we can check out some important dates for like the spring of 2022, right? So when registration opens up, I think this might be the wrong link on the website. Here we go. The academic calendar is what I was looking at. So when registration opens up, we can begin to see, remember I said that your registration window, when it opens, it'll stay open up through the 5th day of classes for the spring. Well, technically the spring starts on Monday, January 10th. So again, when your window opens up on either November 9th or November 10th, you'll be able to go ahead and log in, grab some seats, grab some courses, hold those seats, and even make changes to those all the way through your winter break, as long as you keep your advising code and you have access to the internet. And we can see here then that the 5th day of classes, the last day to add and drop is going to be Friday, January 12th. Okay, so do be aware of that as we look ahead. I'm going to move back over here. Sorry, got a menu that's dropping down, hiding some of my tabs. So we talked about registration for the spring. Here we go. And we'll go back to Genie. Everybody here is probably familiar with their UNC Genie account, right? You can log into your account, but let me show you the easiest way of how to look up classes. And that's just by clicking on class schedule. This is where you can view the current schedule of classes that are offered for a given term. So if we click on class schedule, we can see here that we can begin looking up courses for the spring, okay? Now, registration windows technically are gonna open up first for graduate students and seniors, and that window date for those student populations is gonna begin on October 25th. So if you and I and all of us begin to explore courses that are being offered for the spring, and maybe we want to look by subjects, we click in that subject box and we see this alphabetized list of departments. Let's say maybe you're a nutrition major and you want to search for all of the NTR prefix courses. Well, you can begin to see what's offered. You can click on the title of a course, which will pull up this box with all these different tabs. So you can see if courses have prerequisites or co-requisites. you can read course descriptions. But more importantly, on October 25th, when registration will begin for graduate students and then for seniors, as we continue to move through the rest of October and into November, you'll be able to monitor the status if seats are available. And you can also see how big those courses can be, right? So there's 115 current seats that are going to be positioned in this Nutrition 213 class, right? And you can begin to get a sense of the class size, if the courses are going to be offered online, if they're going to be in person, if it's a hybrid course, right? We can see the days and times. You can also expand these columns. So know that there's lots of information here at your fingertips so that you can do some planning on your own. When we think about advising at UNCG, part of planning on your own means setting up an appointment or engaging with your advisor, whether it's virtual or in person or via email, and coming to that opportunity prepared, right? Having a list of course options that you would like to explore, and having a list of questions that you'd like to ask. So ultimately, as a member of HHS, as a part of our family, we want you to know that we're here to support you. We want you to know that we're here to assist you with questions that you have, but we're not mind readers, right? We're here to learn more about you as well, to learn about the goals, about the areas of interest that you have, and how we as advisors can help you explore more deeply what UNCG and more specifically HHS has to offer, okay? So let me go back to our departmental.
Jennifer, we have a question about if I major in kinesiology, can I also minor in chemistry, or would that be kind of redundant and not encouraged? We also have a question in the chat about taking second level classes in the spring as a first year student. So for example, if they're in Bio 101, could they take the next level bio in the spring? And then what's the best way to schedule our advising appointment?
Yep, so thank you very much. Thank you for those questions. So if we think about one of those questions, someone had asked, you know, can you begin taking second level courses? For example, UNCG's course offerings operate in a manner that if a course doesn't have prerequisites and it's not restricted to classifications, for example, or to particular majors, then it's, you know, it's up for grabs, right? So if we think about UNCG's general education curriculum, I think all of you, probably most of you, are following Minerva's academic curriculum. And if we search for courses based on the general education attributes, here's the alphabetized list. We can type in MAC, or you can go all the way down this list and find all the different course options that meet the many different MAC markers. Let's say that you want to look for a MAC diversity and equity course, and we hit search. Well, at UNCG, 100 level courses are not for freshmen, 200 level courses are not for sophomores, 300. It doesn't really work like that. Again, it comes down to, if you want to take a 200 level course, then check confirm, if you'd like, the course description. So I'm going to click on this title. It's going to pull up this box, and then we'll be able to see the tab, so we can see if there's a prerequisite there. We can see if it's restricted to certain majors. And in this case, this course is just restricted to students in main campus degree programs, as opposed to an online degree program. So if there aren't restrictions and there aren't prerequisites, or if there aren't restrictions and the prerequisites that are there are satisfied with the courses that you have completed or credits you have for the fall, then that's a course that you could consider picking up, whether it's to meet general education requirements, to meet minor requirements for those of you who want to declare a minor. Our general education curriculum, if we think about MAC, which is short for Minerva's academic curriculum, I think only totals like 30 or 33 credits. So for HHS, the great benefit is that a lot of the courses within your majors are going to cross over and meet some of those MAC markers, which really frees up the opportunity for you to discover and explore taking courses in other areas of interest beyond your major. So if you're a kinesiology major and you want to declare a chemistry minor, go for it. A lot of you might be interested in taking course prereqs for medical school or vet school or physical therapy. Many of the students that come to HHS have interest in pre-professional programs like that, occupational therapy. So I want to open up, let's see, I had it open, but sorry, some of my tabs are hidden with a menu that's dropped down. On the Register Office's website, we can look at the catalog. And our catalog is essentially our bulletin. It's online. And in the search engine, if you just wanted to type in pre-professional programs and then hit enter, you can click on this first tab that comes up, or this first link that comes up. I'm going to click on this and I'm going to click on this programs tab. What I'm trying to say here is you can explore the common course prerequisites for a host of different areas of interest. As you probably know, UNCG doesn't have a physical therapy degree or a pharmacy degree or an occupational therapy degree, but we support students through advising by offering the course prerequisites, for example, that physical therapy programs in the state of North Carolina require. So you can explore a little bit more on your own. And if you are, for example, a kinesiology major, right? Kinesiology majors, off the top of my head, can pick and choose their math. Well, maybe you're looking at PT. Well, for PT, which is physical therapy, statistics is needed, right? So if you want to take statistics to meet your general education math requirement for your kinesiology degree, and know that it's also needed to prepare you for applying for a physical therapy school, well, there you go. And if you have any questions about this, that's what we're here for as advisors, to help you think about, well, hey, I am kind of interested in taking prereqs to become a physician assistant or for law school. So how can I position myself going forward to account for any course prerequisites or service hours or contact hours as I think about my timeline to graduate. Okay. So know that that is here. Again, it's online at your fingertips. Trying to think, are there other questions that you had indicated here? I've got the chat pulled up. So anatomy, a lot of students in many of our majors are taking biology 111 right now, lecture and lab. So you might be looking to take then anatomy or physiology, depending on if your major requires it, like kinesiology and some of the nutrition majors, which have to have anatomy or physiology, therapeutic recreation majors as well. So just know that those would be opportunities where you could explore picking those up for the spring. A lot of courses at UNCG for many of our health and human sciences majors are offered every fall and spring. Not all, but some are. So you can explore, if I go back to how we search for courses. So just as a reminder from Jeannie, you can click on class schedule. Right now, we can look up courses up through the spring of 2022. We'll be able to see the summer of 2022 course offerings as early as January 10th. And registration for summer courses at UNCG will begin on February 1st. If you wanted to begin to get a sense of, hey, what was offered last summer and what was offered last spring, you could do that to maybe begin to get an understanding of how departments offer their courses. In some cases, they might offer them only in fall or only in spring. In some cases, they might be every fall and every spring. And in most cases, there's a few, some more than others, course offerings for the summer that are major specific. And many cases, you'll find lots of general education courses that are offered every fall, spring, and summer.
And just remember, for your registration, you will be using Schedule Hero, which you just heard about in your previous session.
Awesome. That's right. Thank you very much. So I want to kind of come back to our Advising and Personal Development Center website, right? So just to say this again, our school website, hhs.uncg.edu. If you go to the resources tab, you can go to the Advising and Personal Development Center website. Somebody had asked about, how do I set up an appointment? Well, if you're assigned to the Health and Human Sciences Advising Center, and we look further down here on our Advising Center website, there's a hyperlink here that you can click on, and that will take you straight to our Advising Center calendar, where you can view some available virtual slots for advising. And we're going to be advertising additional slots, and we'll be sending out emails about possible virtual sessions. There might be some group sessions depending on your major, some in person. some online. So just be on the lookout for those emails to come to you, most likely during the fall break period. But this would be where you could click on that and begin to access our Advising Center calendar to view and or to select an advising slot. Okay. On our Advising and Personal Development Center website, there's this Plans of Study tab. So I want to just kind of draw your attention to that, and we'll click on it. And if you wanted to more specifically look at different templates that your department's created, let's say maybe you want to check out the template for as a speech pathology and audiology major. I'm going to click on this. That's one that downloaded. So anytime a document downloads and we're doing Zoom, I have to stop sharing my current screen. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to stop sharing and I'm going to share the document that just downloaded. And so this particular document downloaded as a template for the speech pathology and audiology major. Now this is showing those CSD classes and just a semester by semester plan and how it's laid out as the department would recommend. But there might be some flexibility here. So I'm going to stop sharing this particular department. I want to go back to that sample plans links. Hang on just a minute. I'm going to click on another one just so you can see the flavor, if you will, of what we have here, what the departments have that they've created for you. So let's say you are a nutrition major. You want to click on the concentration requirements. This takes you to the nutrition department website, and further down there are PDF documents. So this is for the nutrition and dietetics concentration. I'm going to click on this, and this pulls up again some insight with a semester by semester guide that your department created for you to give thought to and have insight about, as some of the courses might only be offered in the fall or only in the spring, or just recommended based on the labor of some of the courses that your department created and is requiring for your degree. Your departments are the experts, and they created your courses in the order in mind so that you can learn more about the foundational information as you progress through your second, third, and fourth year. Okay, so know that all of this information is here, and be on the lookout for this information to come to you as well via emails. We look ahead to fall break. Fall break's almost here, guys. Monday and Tuesday, October 11th and 12th. Okay.
Jennifer, what do we do if our classes are already full for the spring, but we really need those classes?
That's a good point. So I think you can email your advisor, but ultimately if classes are full and you feel like it's time sensitive and you have to have it in the spring of your freshman year, for example, in order to maintain a graduation timeline, then your department's going to make a way to ensure that you get those courses in a timely manner. The most important thing that you can do, though, is to register when your registration window opens. And so a lot of students either forget their window that will be opening up on November 9th or 10th as freshmen, or they might just wait until winter break. And so let's say, hey, now I'm done with classes. I finished my week of exams. I'm in the month of December. And now I want to go ahead and begin picking and choosing. Well, you run the risk of maybe not being able to grab your first choice based on what's available at that time. So the point here is you have a registration window. Take advantage of registering as early as you can. Be aware of when your window opens, and know that when you meet with your advisor, whether it's virtual or in person, you'll also receive your spring advising code, and you'll want to keep up with that code. Remember, I said registration windows, when they open, those windows will stay open up through the 5th day of classes for the spring. So as long as you see seats available, or if a seat becomes available, let's say that a student logs in and decides they want a different section and they drop the section that they initially had and that seat opens up. Well, it's first come, first serve, right? So if you see it and you want it and you've got your advising code, then log in wherever you have access to the internet and grab it. But do what you can to secure your schedule as much as you can on your own, and know that your advisors are also here to give advice. In most cases, there aren't time-sensitive courses that you have to have in the spring semester. For most of our majors within the School of Health and Human Sciences, that might not be true for some of the other majors like nursing. But I think those of you who have an interest in nursing are probably not here currently. At any rate, just know that we're here to support you. And many of you are, are busy. You have a lot on your plate. You've got tests, you've got exams. We're preparing for fall break, and things are piling up, so to speak. So know that we're all here. We're here to support you. We're in this together. Somebody put in there, I don't know who my advisor is. It just says someone in this program. If your advisor assignment says Health and Human Sciences Advising Center, then know that that is an advising center that consists of multiple people who are all present and serving in the center to work with the students that set up virtual appointments. So while you're not assigned to a particular person, in most cases, you can interact with the advisors in our center, whether it's virtual or in person, to receive quality service and academic advice. Okay. So we do advising for students that have an interest in nursing. We work together with the School of Nursing's Advising Center team to advise all of those students together. I appreciate the questions coming through. Other questions? Remember, October 8th is the deadline. If you're contemplating whether or not you want to reduce your fall schedule, you need 30 credit hours to be considered a sophomore if you want to be a sophomore at the start of the fall of next year. And again, summer course offerings will be uploaded into UNC Genie and viewable as early as January 10th, but registration for those courses won't begin until February 1st. Okay. If you want to take courses elsewhere and transfer those in, that's another opportunity that many students often explore. So questions like that, we would love to talk to you about through group or individual advising sessions. So just know that we're here. We look forward to getting to know you more and serving you as we look ahead. Other questions? I appreciate the questions coming in. So if I have 16 credits this year, I would need at least 15 to 16 classes spring semester. Ideally, you need 30 credits at minimum to be completed before the start of the fall semester of 2022 begins, if you're a freshman right now and you want to be considered a sophomore before this fall semester next year starts. Now, technically, there's nothing that says you have to be a sophomore when you start your fall semester. But sometimes if you're like me, when you got financial aid or you're getting financial aid, maybe your financial aid packages or the amount of those packages tend to grow in their amount as you move from freshman to sophomore to junior to senior. But you can certainly inquire with the financial aid office if questions about that arise. And for many students, for some students certainly that are also inquiring with us, they're choosing to drop a course at this point. So they might only complete 10 credits at the end of the fall when all is said and done and grades are posted. And that's okay. It's okay to have 10 credits, for example, at the end of the fall. Looking ahead to the spring, if a student wants to register for 16 credits and they pass all 16 credits in the spring, well, then 10 plus 16 is 26. If they want to take 1 or 2 courses over the summer to kind of catch up, if you will, and be a sophomore going into the fall semester, that's fine too. That you have plenty of opportunities to learn, to grow, and to take courses. And in the summer, we have lots of courses that are offered online. So know that summer is an opportunity to explore. Other courses? Other questions? Is everybody doing well? Are you excited? Are you engaged in your courses at this point? I trust that you are. I know it's a lot, and I hope that you are getting timely feedback from your professors or utilizing their office hours or taking advantage of the Writing Center and the Speaking Center and free tutoring. Tutoring is free. You already pay for it, so definitely use those services. And if you don't know how to find those, email us at askhhs@uncg.edu and we can help get you connected to those resources and services. Yeah, a little nervous about upcoming classes. You know what? Being nervous is a good thing. I appreciate the thoughts there and the comments that are shared. And I think that's a good thing. It's okay to be nervous. It's a good thing to be nervous. But as long as you're attending class or participating in the ways that you can. Talking with your professors, know that your professors are here. They're not mind readers, so definitely pick their brains, talk with them, explore options to get to know the material a little bit more. Know that we're all here. If you have an interest in studying abroad, now's the time to start those questions with the International Program Center office, even if you don't know if you want to study abroad. If you're 1% interested in studying abroad, maybe you are thinking about studying abroad in your sophomore year, it's never too late to start those conversations with a study abroad advisor. Okay. Any other questions or thoughts? Really appreciate the engagement here this evening, Ms. Caitlin and I. Appreciate the time that you're giving to us. Sorry about that, just to get to know you. Well, we're here. I think technically our session has ended. It's 5:19 on my laptop, but if you have other questions, I'm happy to hang on here for another couple of minutes. Otherwise, we appreciate your time this evening. I'm going to just kind of reiterate in the chat, if you have questions, don't hesitate to email us. askhhs@uncg.edu is the Health and Human Sciences Advising Center email address. And we're here to support you. We're here to help you get connected to the resources that we have at UNCG, whether it's personal, financial, academic. Just know that we're all in this together, and we're thrilled that you're part of our family at UNCG. Know that it's a journey, and so we look forward to helping you move along the journey that you're choosing to take. You have a good evening as well. Thank you. Thank y'all so much for being here. Have a good night. Don't get too much in Zoom overload stuff. We're all in it together. All right. Bye, guys.